Moreover, competition in the marketplace is vital because it is not only an innovation driver, but leads to more competitive pricing at a time when all of us are being asked to do more with less. If Edison were sitting or standing in front of you at this podium this evening, I would ask them, if I were you, how long it takes them to install transmission lines. When were the last time that they updated the grid? How long that takes? And I doubt that you get those answers because I've asked those questions as an elected official like yourself. Competitive capitalism is American. It allows the consumer to make a choice that's in their best interest for their business and for their home, for their family. It counters with better pricing, more selection, more options. I encourage all of you as leaders in this community, as I have and as a leader in mine, to see the value of savings, recognize the importance of local control, and join the cities of Fullerton, Buena Park, Irvine, and Fountain Valley. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Glenn Grandis, City of Fountain Valley Council Member. I was mayor last year. It's nice to be back here in Stanton. It's like my second home. I sat where Hannah's sitting for many years with the PCTA board. I know two of your moms on your council. I feel like I'm at home here. But what is CCA all about? Why did I put Fountain Valley or vote for Fountain Valley to join? It's all about choice. It's all about giving the residents choice. The residents are smart. If they want to stay with Southern California Edison, they can. If they want, like somebody like me, like your Mayor Pro Tem, who really thinks climate action is important and green energy, I have the right to spend a little bit more, it's about $6, $7, and get 100% green energy. You asked a question, energy goes in, energy goes out, how do you get it to the house? Think of it like a bank. You put a bunch of money into the bank, a bunch of cash, and then you go a month later and maybe you do a withdrawal. It's not the same dollar bills that you get, but it's the same value. So that's kind of an analogy that answers that. It's all about saving money for many people. You save 3% off the off of the production, not off of the delivery. And Hanny, you asked a great question. What if somebody doesn't know? You know, everybody has to opt in. What if somebody opts in and doesn't know they can opt out? The worst thing that will happen to those people is they'll pay 3% less on the generation portion of their bill. That's the downside. So you talked about Huntington Beach. I could be a little bit more direct than these guys. Huntington Beach dropped. We all know about the city council and the changeover, but there was something else. They made a huge mistake, and so did Irvine. When they came in, they both came in at the 100% level. So their people who didn't know any better were all paying more. And the city was paying more for energy, but they were getting 100%. What we did in Fountain Valley, we're a little smarter than Irvine and HB, is we're putting everybody in a basic choice. So if there is a mistake somebody doesn't know, there's no cost to the resident. There's no premium. They're actually getting a discount. The other thing that's really important is why now? Why Stanton? Why now? We mentioned that there's $60 million in reserves. You guys don't have to pay millions of dollars to join to get that value. Fountain Valley didn't have to pay anything. I think it's, you know, we're kind of making some value off of what HB and Irvine did as the first people in and the reserves that were built. I mean, they're not going to say that, but I can say that. You know, it's a benefit to our city. It's a benefit to your city. Think of like PCTA. If another city, oh my gosh, I had so much more to go over. All right, anyway, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you. My name is Dave Martinez, and I live in Costa Mesa, which is also considering joining OCPA. And I'll tell you what I will tell my own council. There's three main reasons to join OCPA. It's affordable, it's sustainable, and it's controllable. What do I mean by that? So it's affordable. Stanton has the choice to go into OCPA and enroll residents at the basic tier, like Councilmember Grandis just said. This will result in cheaper energy bills than Southern California Edison charges all of your residents. I think that's a great opportunity for everyone to get cheaper electricity. Two, it's sustainable. Stanton residents deserve to get their energy from a clean, green source. And you can do that through enrolling in OCPA, and you can also get this more renewable electricity, this green electricity, while also being cheaper. And also number three, it's controllable. What do I mean by that? Mainly, I just wanted to rhyme. But it's also, SCE is controlled by the unknown board of directors of an investor-owned utility. You probably don't know who controls SCE. I don't. But for OCPA, one member, one of the five of you, will sit on the OCPA board of directors if you join. And I think that that's a direct line to controlling your energy. It's local control. And I think that's a great reason to join this program. So with being affordable, being sustainable, being controllable, this all is wrapped into one, and it sounds great to me. So I hope you can join OCPA. Thank you.
Speak in favor.
Good evening, Council. My name is Tomas Castro. I live in Irvine. I'm an advocate and organizer with Climate Action Campaign, and I love OCPA in my community. I pay less for more renewable energy, and that's something SCE simply can't do. The most important benefit OCPA can bring to working families in Stanton is lower rates. By joining at the basic tier, residents can pay less per month on their energy bills than they currently do under SoCal Edison. Under the status quo, over 17% of SCE customers are on average $1,000 behind on their utility bills, while rates keep increasing under our current monopoly utility system. At a time when the affordability crisis in California is at an all-time high, adopting community choice energy is a step in the right direction towards financial relief for working people. Additionally, OCPA can fund local programs in Stanton with revenue that would otherwise go to Wall Street shareholders. OCPA can provide rebates to replace inefficient appliances in homes, install rooftop solar, and cut energy rates even lower for residents. With OCPA, Stanton has the opportunity to bring financial relief to residents while opting for clean energy and climate resilience. I encourage you to direct staff to move forward with joining the agency. Thank you.
Hello, Council. My name is Braden, and I just wanted to offer my perspective as somebody currently fortunate enough to be a customer of OCPA. I'm one of those people of Irvine, which one of our previous commenters mentioned, and I hopefully have many years left, so I actually have a lot to lose depending on the success of OCPA. You heard recently some really high reductions in emissions and some really high savings, which are only possible because of OCPA. I personally would like to live somewhere where I can breathe the air, somewhere where I'm not risking my safety in future by microwaving my leftovers. I don't want to worry about fires in my backyard. I don't want to find out I have asthma because I'm funding dirty energy. I actually opted for the 100% renewable tier because I believe in OCPA and want a clean future. We've heard straight from the horse's mouth here that there's no liability for the city. You can withdraw, and at the base tier, which you'd be coming in, is 3% cheaper for the residents. We've heard about solar panels from one of the previous commenters. You could buy some of these for your city on top of using the savings that you get from going with the basic choice tier. SoCal Edison has raised rates 42% since 2010, and they're going to raise rates another 32% by 2030. These are plans published to the California Public Utilities Commission. With OCPA, I have the option for cheaper power, and I have the option for cleaner power. I don't have to stay with OCPA. I choose to. I was also scared off by some of the history, but they've undergone several reforms, and as you've heard, have gotten a clean bill of health. So I hope you give your residents the choice too. Thank you.
Hi, Good evening, Council. My name is Casey Gallagher. I'm from Tustin, which is not a part of OCPA, but a city I would love to see become a part of OCPA in the future. I'm a climate activist, a soon-to-be environmental professional, and most importantly, I'm a young person who wants a livable future for the coming generations. This is why I'm here today to encourage the Council to direct staff to draft an ordinance to join Orange County Power Authority. Community Choice Energy Providers, or CCEs, like OCPA, grant agency to residents in energy choice. Without this agency, residents are stuck with SoCal Edison, a Wall Street-backed energy monopoly that prioritizes shareholders over stakeholders. In other words, profits over people. Speaking of stakeholders, it is important to recognize that Stanton shoulders a disproportionate amount of the pollution in Orange County. Stanton residents live in the upper percentiles of pollution burden, leaving community members more vulnerable to respiratory illnesses such as cardiovascular disease, lung cancer, and asthma. This being the case, it is crucial that this council advocates for healthier living conditions in this community. By joining OCPA, the council can protect residents' public health by using energy from cleaner resources that don't pollute our community. If Stanton does not join OCPA, then families already experiencing the worst air pollution and paying the highest proportion of their household income on energy bills will essentially be paying to keep their communities polluted and financially strapped because energy will be more expensive for everyone. I hope that these factors will be taken into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Engineering student, and I'm here to voice my support in OCPA. Renewables in my curriculum, I took a class called Cost-Benefit Analysis, in which I learned that renewables are the cheapest form of power, but fossil fuels are the most profitable. And giving cheaper bills to the people of Stanton would be a lot harder under SCE, as it was mentioned earlier. SCE is just barely meeting the requirement for how many renewables that they need by the state of California. And what's more is that they're a monopoly over Stanton currently, and that only laws are keeping them from increasing their rates. A big part of what makes renewables cheaper is that we pay a hidden cost through subsidies that we pay to fossil fuels. So that's our tax money that we are also paying on top of our energy bill. And there's also the unplugged wells that generally happen more often than they should, and that the cost of plugging them back in would also just generally bankrupt the industry on top of the health disbenefits that we experience from not doing so. And so joining CCE like OCPA makes a much easier transition into getting cheaper renewables for people. I mean, starting at nearly 50% already, that's already very good, and renewables are only going to get cheaper. So it just seems like a no-brainer to me to keep it going. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Lisa Bunderchuk. I'm a resident of Irvine. I'm here to encourage the Council to join the Orange County Power Authority. There are many misconceptions regarding the authority, and I'm here to address them. If there are any doubts, as a resident of Irvine, I know the OCPA is great and it benefits my city and community. There's concerns about cost, but the facts are clear. OCPA can provide Stanton residents with energy that are cheaper, 3% less than SCE rates at the basic level, and the rates will continue to decrease over the time. This is a real opportunity to lower bills, especially at a time when energy costs have risen significantly. OCPA would also help create local government that could reduce energy burdens and support environmental justice for communities like Stanton that already are overburdened with pollution. Lastly, joining OCPA would help protect public health by reducing pollution.
Stanton is already impacted by high pollution levels, which contribute to serious health risks for residents. Additionally, Stanton suffers with each day with an urban heat island, with the 39 highways splitting the city and streets with active car mobility. It unfortunately heats up the environment, therefore increasing energy consumption for cooling. By joining OCPA, you're not only just saving money, but also thinking of the health of Stanton and also the city's climate that the city's climate that is affecting us to this day. I urge you to move forward with this and join OCPA. Thank you.
Hello, Stanton City Council. My name is Tiffany. I was born and raised here in Orange County most of my life, and I currently work in the biomedical industry, and I used to pass city council chambers here on my way to school every day, and I'm in support of joining the OCPA. And I'd like to point out that all the opposition that we had today was from Irvine, so they're not the voices of the people here in Stanton. And at the end of the day, I believe Stanton City Council, you want what's best for the residents. And I believe there are 3 reasons for you to join. One is that it saves residents money. We're facing inflation now, and if we have the city opt into the basic choice plan, as Joe Mosca said with his thorough presentation, and people have reiterated here, it's 3% cheaper than SEE. So that's the first reason. The second reason is the climate crisis is here, and we need to be expanding renewable energy as fast as possible and ending fossil fuel emissions. And OCPA is the best way to go about that. The opposition mentioned SE Green Rate Plan. That application is full, and they are not expanding that program. OCPA will put renewable energy as a priority. And third, we want to emphasize local control. So OCPA will empower residents to make that choice for climate action and to promote renewable energy and choose to protect our climate future. And we've all been affected by the increasing rate of the SoCal fires and air pollution worsening here in California and around the world. And we need clean energy now, and OCPA is the best way to go about that. Thank you.
Here tonight that would like to speak in opposition or in favor of this item? Okay. Have we received any correspondence?
Mr. Mayor, thank you for asking. We did receive 20 e-public comments were provided to you on the dais this evening, emailed to you, and there's also a public copy in the lobby for everyone to review and ask. We had 2 in opposition and 18 in favor, sir.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close this item. Before everybody leaves tonight, first of all, Fred and Glenn, thank you for being here tonight. If you need a note that you were here, I'll be happy to write it for you.
I will need that.
Okay. And for all you students, I appreciate your fervor for your cause and what your true beliefs are. Thank you for coming and presenting your point of view to the City Council tonight. Be careful when you drive home. And that being said, I also would like to thank the staff again for your presentation. I just have 2 quick questions. Who gets to answer them?
Yes, sir.
You pay franchise fees to the city.
So the city customers pay franchise fees to SE, and then SE remits that to the city.
So we're going to get our normal franchise fees from Edison, even though you're the third-party collector customer.
You'll still get it from Edison. Those fees will be paid to Edison. Edison will remit it to you. Whatever your contract, whatever your franchise agreement says, for however long it says, it will still be the same under OCPA.
Okay, great. And then, does the board members get a paid stipend?
They do.
Okay. And do you know how much that is?
It is $300 a meeting.
Okay.
$315. Sorry, I was $315.
Okay.
It's the same as OC sanitation.
Thank you for the time that your staff put in for this presentation. We really appreciate it. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close this because we are not doing D tonight. I was requested by the city manager that we move that to our next meeting, item D. Special presentation award section.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So at this time, we are completed with item 8C. Item 8D will be pushed and tabled to the next council meeting, sir.
Perfect. All right, we're now at the Okay, we're now going on to item number 9A, consent calendar. Feel free to stay. Hey guys, you're excused. Go ahead. Watch out for the crazy drivers on Beach Boulevard. You'll be okay. Okay, Chief, you can come back and safe now if you'd like to sit up here with us. Now that is true camaraderie. Thank you. We're at the consent calendar. All items can be acted on simultaneously unless we want to pull something. Is there anything from the audience that was requested to be pulled?
We do have none.
And how about correspondence?
No correspondence received either, sir.
Okay, I'm going to pull 9I. Is there, to move the recommended action on the balance, is there a motion? Opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, back to you, Trish.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, you're requested to pull item 9I, which is award of construction contract for the Citywide Street Sign Replacement Project Phase 1. Your questions for staff, sir.
Quick questions. Are we going to redo the big signs on Beach Boulevard and at the intersections?
As part of, good evening, Mayor and council members. As part of Phase 1, we will not be doing that. Phase 1 will be used for principal arterials and collectors. And Phase 2 will include all of the rest of the neighborhood and those city logo signs. And strategically, because we're in the process of the logo approval, that's why we decided to.
So we're not doing neighborhoods at this time, right?
We are doing only neighborhood streets that abut into the primary or collector streets.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. And then maybe we could reach out to Caltrans. You know, Caltrans controls most of the construction and everything on Beach Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
You might want to let them know that on Beach Boulevard, since that is state property, we might want to put a request for them to redo some of theirs that might not be in disrepair. Just a thought.
Your director has instructed me to look into reaching out for that very purpose. All of the overhead signage on the signalized intersections are the ones that I believe you're referring to. We are reaching out to them, and that would require some kind of agreement and encroachment permits and whatnot. But that is part of the plan, and it's just not included as part of Phase 1 at the moment.
That's not in Phase 1, right?
Phase 1.
So maybe we could get a hold of that contact we have. Yes. Okay, great. All right, and then if you will note that all the signs in the neighborhoods, they're all metal. So, are we going to replace the metal? Or are we just going to replace the signage? Because if we could find a company that just replaces the sign, but the metal, it'd save us a lot of money.
We already went through the competitive RFP process. We've already awarded a contract.
Hey, time out. I understand. I understand that. But we're voting tonight whether we want to do it or not. That's an awful lot of metal and an awful lot of cost because we're not even doing the whole city and it's costing us $200,000.
Yes, sir.
Have you looked at the feasibility of just using the existing metal and putting some surface on it?
Yes, there are approximately, we are only replacing, and the metal that you're referring to is the post, that perforated square post that is typical for where all the signage is going. There's only, for Phase 1, a minimal amount. By that, I mean, we're looking at around maybe 10 or 15, anything
Only
that's
I think
damaged.
he's actually talking about the actual sign itself. So he's saying the existing signs that are in the neighborhoods are metal, and he wants to put like a applique or a sticker over the existing
Because that's
sign.
what they did last time, and they, you know, I mean,
We are definitely applying a film on top of that for graffiti and longevity, if that is the case.
So do you have a sample of the sign in your office? Could you go grab that, please? Yes. I think that would be helpful. Yes, come up close. So this is,
the caveat that I like to add, if it's okay with you, is let's see if we can sell some of the old signs like we did before. Why are you laughing?
how much did we sell
We
them
made a few
for?
bucks
Okay.
last time. I think John bought 10 of them.
I'll sign the council up for 100 each.
In fact, they appreciate it, right, John, to make a little extra money now, right? Okay, I'll move it. Go ahead.
This comment, just make sure to check out Kerry Lane and Catherine Ave because the residents on those streets are still upset about the grammatical error there.
If there are any unfortunate spelling errors this time around, we will fix it immediately.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We will make sure.
By Mayor Shaver.
Opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, thank you.
Hearing none, item passes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we are now at unfinished business, 11A.
I'd also like to report item 10, public hearings. We have none. Item 11A, that would be me. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Honorable Council Member. Before you, we have approval of ordinance number 1161, which is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Stanton, California, adding chapter 1.4 to the Stanton Municipal Code relating to the use of the official of the City of Stanton, and finding that the ordinance to be exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. This ordinance was introduced at the regular City Council meeting of March 25, 2025. The recommended action for this evening is that the City Clerk read the title, which I've just done, and that City Council adopt ordinance number 1161. That concludes staff's report. Staff is available to report any questions that you may have.
Move it. Roll call.
We have a motion by Mayor Shaver, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Torres. I'll now proceed with roll call vote. Councilmember Warren? Councilmember Barrios? Councilmember Taylor? Mayor Pro Tem Torres? And Mayor Shaver?
Yes.
Thank you. Item passes 5-0.
Okay, we are going to, the staff has asked that we move 11B to our next meeting. So we're now at 12, new business 12A. It's an agreement between the County of Orange and the City of Stanton, provision of timely resource center services, differential response, path 1 services.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Give me one moment. My apologies. There's no easy way to do this.
go ahead and give the oral staff report, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few details and then I'll jump into the recommended action. So I'm presenting tonight a recommendation to approve the city's continued partnership with the County of Orange under the Families and Communities Together FACT program. A little bit of background, we've been partnering with the county for 20 years. This program operates the Stanton Family Resource Center, offering no-cost services that help stabilize families. The city was selected for an award through a competitive county grant process. We recently applied and were notified of the award in February, affirming the collaborative model that we offer for the past 20 years. The proposed agreement extends services through June 2028 and introduces a new component, Differential Response Path 1, a county-led intervention effort to support at-risk families before child welfare services cases escalate. The agreement also includes continued collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club of Garden Grove and Interval House through professional services agreements. These agencies have long-standing relationships with the city, extensive experience serving Stanton families, and deep programmatic knowledge, making them uniquely qualified to ensure continuity. This is a 3-year, $1.5 million county-funded agreement, providing $500,000 annually, $350,000 each year for core family resource center services, and $150,000 annually for differential response. The city's contribution in the upcoming fiscal year is projected to be $120,000, which is a slight increase from the previous fiscal year at $113,000. Services required in the agreement include case management, parenting education, family and individual counseling, emergency assistance, and referrals for housing, employment, and health services. These supports directly reduce stress on families and help prevent further system involvement. In addition, our reach is significantly expanded through our network and unfunded community partners who help us stretch the impact of the program without additional cost to the city. Partners include CalOptima, Children's Hospital of Orange County, Olive Crest, Community Health Initiative of OC, America on Track, local school districts, and faith-based organizations. These partners provide additional services, on-site activities, and specialized outreach tailored to Stanton families. The recommended action for this evening is to declare this project exempt from CEQA, authorize the city manager to execute the FACT agreement, authorize execution of professional services agreements, and waive the competitive procurement process to allow sole source procurement for the professional services. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
Questions? Is there a motion? Okay. Opposed? Anybody abstain? Thank you, Sandy. Now at item 12B.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is actually my item. Item 12B is a proposed ordinance to add at Chapter 9.50 regarding nitrous oxide to Title 9 of the Stanton Municipal Code related to the sale of nitrous oxide within the city. Essentially, this ordinance would prohibit the sale of nitrous oxide except when it is sold for legitimate uses and purposes as provided by state law. This ordinance is modeled after a County of Orange ordinance that was recently enacted as well. Nitrous oxide is an odorless, colorless chemical that can be inhaled. It's colloquially referred to as laughing gas, NOx, or whippets. There are legitimate uses for nitrous oxide, including for medical and dental procedures, as a culinary ingredient, or as a vehicle performance enhancer. There are state laws that already prohibit its sale in terms of making it unlawful for a seller to sell it for recreational purposes. Nonetheless, city employees and staff have gone to smoke shops and city events and whatnot and have found it being sold for recreational use. It does provide a high, but at its on the far end of the spectrum, it can cause paralysis and death. And so it is a public health, welfare, and safety issue that the city would like to use its police power to regulate and prohibit. The proposed ordinance closes a loophole in which sellers can
basically evade liability under state law by simply not asking the person who's purchasing the nitrous oxide, well, why are you using it? It's just kind of a don't ask, don't tell loophole. And so this would close that loophole by simply prohibiting the sale of nitrous oxide in the city unless it's being sold for a lawful purpose. Again, medical use, dental use, as a culinary ingredient, or for vehicles, essentially. And so that is the summary of the ordinance. It would add a new chapter to the Stanton Municipal Code. The recommended action is to find that the ordinance is not subject to CEQA, introduce the ordinance by title only, and then set second reading and adoption of the ordinance at the next regular council meeting, which occurs on April 22nd. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
The vendors that, how will we be notifying them?
Good evening. We will make personal contact with each vendor as a benefit of the tobacco enforcement grant that we have. We do have the manpower to do that. This is actually something that has become incredibly prevalent in these smoke shops, and then we're also taking the time to contact when we do we have essentially a bar check program. We've run into situations where they're selling it in those environments as well. So it's clearly marketed towards younger folks. As part of the tobacco flavor ban, we wanted to include this as well. So I think we're a little bit ahead of the game on it, but it's definitely something that is going to be a good service. We've experienced where we've seen these smaller tanks, and with the flavored component that are clearly marketed towards younger folks, literally peaches and cream and cotton candy, that type of deal. So it's I like the fact that we're ahead of it, but it's definitely something that is way more prevalent than I had thought, and it's really taken hold in the past probably 4 to 5 months. Yeah, we honestly don't. That's a little low level for most of our homeless folks, to be honest with you. We don't see it too much in the homeless community. It's you'll see some tanks, but it's more of a driving around clubs, that type of thing.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this item forward. I've had a few opportunities where I've seen juveniles and young adults using this. I've seen instances where I've seen young adults driving and inhaling it through a balloon, and among other situations. And I'm happy to say that we're taking an opportunity here to get one more addictive item away from our youth, and so I appreciate this coming forward. To follow up on that, let's say past probationary period, you catch a business selling, what happens?
Our smoke shop ordinance, we essentially, you start with a strike, and it's a 2-strike program with the potential of losing your business license. That's something, as stated before, with the tobacco enforcement grant that we're taking very seriously. We've made contact with each smoke shop throughout the city already, and they've actually in the process of returning signed agreements acknowledging the stipulations of our ordinances. And so we created a situation where they can't say they didn't know, and we're taking it real seriously.
All in favor? Anybody abstain? It passes. Okay. We're now on 12C.
Mr. Mayor, it is an ordinance. You were correct. I should have never doubted you. Thank you for the first and second. I will now proceed with the roll call vote. Councilmember Warren. Rios, Councilmember Taylor, Mayor Pro Tem Torres, and Mayor Shaver. Thank you, sir. Item passes 5-0 with a roll call vote.
Patricia made a mistake. Mark the day.
Very rare. Very rare.
Okay, we're now moving on to 12C.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is also my item. 12C is consideration of an ordinance related to social host liability for illegal fireworks and administrative citations. At your last regular council meeting in March, the City Council directed our office to prepare and present a social host liability ordinance related to illegal fireworks. A social host regulation makes a property owner or the person in control of the property responsible for fireworks that are sold, stored, possessed, or discharged off of that property in violation of the city's fireworks ordinance. This new liability would impose what we call strict liability, or would be imposed whether or not the owner or that person in charge of the property knew or should have known that the illegal fireworks were being sold, discharged, or possessed on the property, given the very difficult nature of trying to pin down who exactly had knowledge or didn't have knowledge in terms of firing off those illegal fireworks. How this violation would be enforced is through administrative fines and penalties. The more severe penalties would be imposed on dangerous fireworks. Dangerous fireworks are defined under the Health and Safety Code, while violations of the use of safe and sane fireworks, which are, safe and more sane, right, would incur a lesser penalty. So, for example, in a 12-month period, let's say someone started firing off safe and sane fireworks on April 15th, then they'd get a violation, a citation for $100. And if they kept on doing that in violation of the city's municipal code, that fine amount would escalate to $200 for the fine, $500 for the third fine, and then subsequent fines. In contrast to that, dangerous fireworks, which are completely illegal all of the time, would incur an administrative citation of $1,000 per penalty. So, for example, if on July 4th, 10 of those were fired off, then that could incur up to a $10,000 fine. The reason why we propose this is just, again, the dangers of dangerous fireworks, right? The staff report noted property damage, fires that could occur, loss of limb, loss of life that are related to those dangerous fireworks. So we did appropriately fine those at a heavier amount. So again, this is proposed under the city's police power to protect the public wealth, welfare, and safety. And the items for the City Council consideration tonight are to declare that the item is not subject to CEQA, introduced by title only, and waive further reading of the proposed ordinance, and set the ordinance for second reading and adoption at the April 22nd, 2025 regular meeting. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
City Manager Hannah, is how, or are we going to, we have to make sure that we reach out to the apartment owners, because the owners aren't there on site, and it's hard for them to control their renters.
Yes, so as we discussed earlier, we have access to address databases when we have to do mailings out. We'll make sure to send mailings to the address on file. Now, I can't guarantee who that's going to go to, but that's the best address we'll have. But we will send it to the address on file through our property database, and we will send them notices about the upcoming ordinance, which will be effective 30 days after the next council meeting.
So I have a question for you. So say I live across the street and I go over to Gary's apartment and I light out illegal fireworks. Now, how would that work? Oh, we're going to Gary's house.
So there is one exception that we noted when we brought this option to the council at the last council meeting, which is if Gary saw you coming over and he said, wow, I can tell he's going to light illegal fireworks on my lawn, he can call non-emergency dispatch and report that. And so we're not going to send anybody out, but they'll take that report, and then later when we're going through and writing our citations, we would confirm that the property owner did not proactively call. You can't call after the fact, you can't call the next day. But if you see somebody coming over and conducting that activity on your property and you report that, that was something we included.
More than once at the same night?
Yes, so they're stackable. So each one If you recall, at the last council meeting, the report we brought you, there was a home in Elk Grove that had racked up over $100,000. One home, because they just kept lighting them right one after another. So they are stackable.
Yeah, just to follow up on Victor's comments, in a similar situation, a strip mall. The individual storefronts, those are individual owners, but usually the parking lot is the owner of the strip, the person who owns the mall. So the same thing, reach out to them. Same thing applies to, for instance, a mobile home park. You know, they own the buildings, but the park's owned by somebody else.
So there is an allowance if we can tell, for example, depending on what type of evidence we have, whether it's photographic or video, if we can tell an individual is walking, let's say, between their garage and public property, and it's adjacent to their private property, and we can clearly tell that they are transporting an illegal firework from their private property to public property, we can also issue a citation. So that's not necessarily a get out of jail free card. So it all depends on what we observe.
Yeah, I think if we're going to be reaching out to apartments, we reach out to those different groups that are in similar situations as well. Yeah. Thank you.
I had a chance to talk to Chief Fennessy, and I offered him an opportunity. I know we do have drones. We're a very small city, so on an experimental basis, I asked him to look at the feasibility of having the OCPA drone out that night in Stanton and take some film footage that also might help with the program that we're doing on our own. If you could follow up with him on that, I would really appreciate it. Okay, is there a motion? I'll move it. Second. Roll call.
We have a motion by Councilmember Taylor, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Torres. I will now proceed with roll call vote. Councilmember Warren, Councilmember Barrios, Councilmember Taylor, Mayor Pro Tem Torres, and Mayor Schauber.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Item passes 5-0.
Okay. We have no written communication. Jaded business.
Mr. Mayor, if we can proceed with oral communications, just to verify if there's anyone in the members of the public in the audience that wish to speak this evening.
I forgot. Yeah. Does anybody want to speak?
No?
A power forever holds your peace.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have none.
Communications. Go ahead, Gary. Business. Reports. Announcements. Almost there. Hey, would you tell us a little bit about Easter egg hunt?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. We have our annual Easter egg hunt coming up Saturday, April 19th at Stanton Central Park. The event is from 9 to 11. Egg hunts will start promptly at 10 a.m. We'll have resource fairs, Easter basket giveaways, and our golden tickets. We are partnering with OCSD to have our explorers out there as well, and we are very grateful for a Stanton Lions Club sponsorship for the event.
Great, thank you. All right. Initiate items for future meeting.
Very quickly, I want to agendize the next steps for the OCPA, or the Orange County Power Authority. Also, to go ahead and maybe ask staff to do their own research when it comes to this, and then research into the OC Power Authority. Yes. Yes. City staff doing their own, to vet it and maybe get a report back, and then we can look at the next steps into that.
Okay, so this will be the first step, and we'll bring it back for council consideration at the next meeting. Thank you.
Make a recommendation on that. It's a great idea. I thought maybe before a council meeting, once we get that information, if we could get maybe 221s so that we can really get into the analysis of it. If you guys are okay with that, I think that would be a great opportunity for us to do that. That way we can have an in-depth discussion. We can't do it. No. No? No. Tonight was a sample. I would like to do it 221. If you guys are okay with that. Thanks. Okay, 221s on that one. Thank you. Okay, anything else? Anybody else have anything? Okay. Here's your study session. Items from our attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no items tonight. Just a reminder that this Saturday we'll be having our talk on the block at Stanton Central Park in the multi-purpose room starting at 11 a.m. All 5 of our council members will be in attendance, so we invite residents to come out and share their feedback. Thank you.
Is that a posted meeting?
Yes, it will be agendized, and you will have myself and Public Safety Director Jim Rendera's staff.
How are we going to handle public comment?
In which you'd have in the meeting here, you would follow, there'd be an agenda, there'd be a time for public comment.
You get that mixed up with Q&A.
True. So typically in a fashion when we used to do this as well, it would just be kind of a natural conversation of comments, open comment, and then at the end when you adjourn, we would just close the public comment as well.
Yeah, I think that's good because we have to limit public comments to 3 minutes, whereas the answering questions may take longer. Just a thought.
I'm sorry, I forgot to share that there will also be a representative from the Orange County Sheriff's Department as well.
And fire?
No, the council, when you originally directed us to hold this talk on the block, you specifically said myself, Public Safety Director, and OCSD. You did not include OCFA, so I have not coordinated with them.
Okay, Chief Bear, we're going to now hear from the Orange County Fire Authority.
And sir, if we can test that mic real quick and put in a lot.
Check. Perfect. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Shaver, council members, city staff, residents. I'm Brian Bear, Battalion Chief, Battalion 8. It's my pleasure to provide the following OCFA operational report for March 2025. Over that time, the OCFA responded to a total of 365 incidents within the city during the month of March 2025. 5 fires, 248 medical aids, 12 traffic incidents, 1 hazardous condition, 99 others. The OCFA responded to a total of 15 incidents within unincorporated Orange County, serviced by Engine and Medic Squad 46 during the month of March 2025. 13 medical aids, 2 others for 15. There was 1 significant incident within the city of Stanton during that time. Orange County Sheriff's. There was a investigation into a vehicle fire on Beach and Orangewood, and subsequently a vehicle ran through the scene, and the deputies and our personnel narrowly escaped a much worse outcome. Furthermore, our social media campaign this month is centering around water safety and barbecue grill safety. For water safety in California, there are approximately 400 drowning deaths and over 1,000 hospitalizations due to non-fatal drowning incidents every year. Adults over the age of 50 and children under the age of 5 are the highest risk groups in Orange County. Water safety is everyone's responsibility, and we encourage you to never swim alone and follow the tips in our ABCs of Water Safety flyer. You can find information on our social media as well as OCFA.org. In the United States, grills cause an average of 10,200 home fires each year. Only use propane and barbecue grills outdoors and a safe distance away from the home. Avoid areas where people gather and keep away from anything flammable. Keep children and pets at least 3 feet away from the grill area and follow the tips in our barbecue safety flyer to keep your family safe. Upcoming OCFA events.
The Stanton National Night Out on Friday, August 8th, 2025. OCPA Engine 46 and an education specialist will be hosting a booth and attending this event. This concludes my Orange County Fire Authority operational report for March 2025, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. That was quite a crash we had tonight, huh?
Yes.
Is he dead or is she dead or?
No, three victims, and it appears that they were very, very lucky.
Oh, you're right. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
I'm not sure right now. I would imagine they're going to have an investigation.
Anyway, thank you for your report. Be safe and tell 46 how much we appreciate them. Any other business? Okay, that's it, folks.